Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. If you're the one in charge of your company's drug-free workplace program, you already know the stakes are sky high, right? One slip-up can lead to accidents, lawsuits, just total chaos. But what if I told you there's one single role, one person, that is the absolute key to making it all run smoothly? Today, we are going to zero in on your program's MVP and explain why they are your ultimate key to safety and compliance. For any business owner or HR manager watching right now, I bet this question hits home. You're juggling company policies, trying to coordinate random tests, figuring out what these complex results mean, all while trying to keep up with state and federal rules that seem to change all the time. It can honestly feel like a second full-time job, pulling you away from, actually running your business. The paperwork, the logistics, it's a lot. It can be completely overwhelming. And let's be crystal clear, the consequences of getting this wrong are huge. We are not talking about simple administrative errors. A program that's not managed properly can lead directly to devastating on-the-job accidents that put your whole team in danger. It can open the floodgates to expensive workplace crime, not to mention legal nightmares. And under the surface, it just eats away at the foundation of your company. It kills productivity, tanks quality, and just crushes team morale. These aren't just small problems. These are the kinds of waves that can sink a business.
But here's the good news. There is a proven, effective solution to slice through all that complexity and protect your company. And it all boils down to one specific powerful role, the Designated Employer Representative, or, as we'll call it for short, the DER. This person is the absolute linchpin of your entire program. They are the individual designed to carry this critical weight and steer the ship in the right direction.
So, what in the world is a DER? Let's look at the official definition. A DER is an employee who is specifically authorized by the company to take immediate action. And I want to pause on that phrase, immediate action. This isn't just about shuffling papers. This person has the authority to actually remove an employee from a safety-sensitive job on the spot. They make the tough, time-sensitive calls in the testing process. They are the single official point of contact for everything related to your drug and alcohol program. And I really want this to sink in. There's a very good reason we call the DER the single most important person in your program. They aren't just an administrator, they are a decision maker with real authority. Think of them as the guardian of your company's safety policy. They're the key to making sure that policy is enforced effectively, consistently, and fairly every single time. Their role is absolutely foundational to having a legally defensible and safe workplace.
Okay, so we've established that the DER is a big deal. But what does that really mean day to day? What does this person actually do to protect the company? Let's break down their core responsibilities.
First and foremost, you've got to think of your DER as the central communication hub. The drug testing process has a lot of moving parts and involves a lot of different people, both inside and outside your company. The DER is the one person who connects all those dots, making sure that critical information is flowing smoothly, accurately, and, super importantly, confidentially. They stop things from falling through the cracks. And this is where you really see the scope of their job. They are the critical link between your company and all the outside partners. They're coordinating with your third-party administrator, or TPA, that's the service agent helping you manage the program's logistics. They're on the phone with collection sites and the testing labs. And crucially, they're the main contact for the medical review officers, the MROs, who are the licensed doctors responsible for verifying every single test result. The DER is truly at the center of this entire web.
And that role as communicator is backed up by some serious authority. Your DER is the one who officially gets all the drug and alcohol test results. So when a positive result or a test refusal comes in, they're the one who has to handle the critical next steps. This includes the power to take immediate action, like pulling an employee from a safety-sensitive role to keep everyone safe. And finally, they handle all the required reporting to state or federal agencies. This is where policy becomes action.
Handling all those moving parts can be a serious challenge. So I'm really curious to hear from all of you watching. For those who are already running a drug-free program, what has been your single biggest hurdle? Is it just navigating the complicated logistics, keeping up with the compliance rules, or maybe it's something else entirely? Go ahead and drop a comment below and share your experience. I think we can all learn a lot from each other.
Okay, so beyond just managing the day-to-day process, a massive part of the DER's job is navigating that complex web of rules and requirements. And this is where things can get a little tricky, because this isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. The regulations that apply to your company can be very different depending on what industry you're in.
And this distinction is absolutely critical.
So if your company is regulated by the Department of Transportation, the DOT, we're talking trucking, aviation, pipelines, that kind of thing, then the answer is a clear and simple yes. It is a federal requirement to have at least one DER. It is not optional. Now, for non-DOT companies, while it might not be required by federal law, having a DER is considered a massive best practice. Honestly, it's just the smartest way to run an effective and defensible program.
And for those DOT-regulated companies, the rules get even more specific. The DOT is very, very clear on this. First, this role cannot be outsourced. You can't just hire a contractor to do it. Your DER must be an actual employee of your company. This usually means you're appointing someone who already has another job title, like an HR manager, a safety director, or even a VP, to take on these critical duties. These rules are non-negotiable.
Now, given the immense responsibility, the decision-making power, and all the strict rules we just talked about, you can't just tap someone on the shoulder and say, "Congratulations, you're the new DER." That's not enough. You have to empower them to actually succeed. And that is where proper, in-depth training becomes absolutely essential.
A prepared, knowledgeable DER is your company's absolute best defense against liability, accidents, and compliance fines. But that level of expertise doesn't just happen. It takes specialized training that covers the complicated terminology, the exact procedures, and the regulations that are always changing.
And that's precisely the kind of expert guidance a DER should have. It's designed to turn a newly appointed DER into a confident and effective leader for your company. Here is a sample for your reference of a really clear and effective training journey. A DR training should start with a solid foundation, an introduction to drug testing, what it is, and why it's so important. From there, you move to comprehensive education for all of your employees because the successful program needs everyone on board. Then get into the required supervisor training, which is a critical layer of defense. And finally, because the rules are always evolving, look for a training provider with ongoing compliance updates to keep your DER and your whole program up to date and protected.
Let's just zoom in on that supervisor training for a second, because it is so incredibly important. For DOT companies and in many states, this isn't just a good idea, it's required by law, and it has to be done in addition to the general employee education. This is where your managers learn the critical skill of handling reasonable suspicion testing, how to properly identify and document the warning signs of impairment, and how to approach that situation correctly and legally. It's also recommended to get a refresher on this every 12 to 18 months to keep those skills sharp.
We also get that every company is different.
So make sure that as you look for a training provider, it should have different formats that will match the comprehension of the trainee.
And that actually brings me to another question for you all. When it comes to this kind of training, what's your preference? What works best for you? Do you get more out of a live, interactive session where you can ask questions as they come up? Or do you prefer the flexibility of an on-demand course that you can fit into your busy schedule? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
So after you've appointed a DER, you've invested in their training, and you've built out this really solid program, what's the ultimate payoff? Well, it's pretty simple, but it's also profound. The result is a fundamentally safer, more compliant, and more productive workplace for every single person on your team.
When it's all said and done, the true value of this role, the real reason it's so vital, is summed up perfectly by this powerful line from our source material. Having a solid program and a DER to manage it protects you as the employer, your company, the people who work for your company, and the clients you serve. You see, it's not just about one thing. It's about protecting everyone and everything your business touches.
And that comprehensive protection, that's really the goal. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought to reflect on. Take an honest look at your own company and ask yourself, is our workplace as safe as it could possibly be? Do we have the right person with the right training and the right authority in place to make sure it stays that way? The DR role is your answer to being able to say a confident yes to that question.
If you were inspired by this explainer, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Reedy Collect. Feel free to share this as well with any colleagues or business owners you think could benefit from this information. Thank you so much for watching.